Okay, cool. Yeah, so just kind of backtracking a little bit here. 15-minute POI up in this region right here. We still have extreme refinements to sort of deal with up at the top. You can see that there's a very, very small change in character right around this region right here. So we're actually at a zone where I would probably be relatively interested in potentially trading. Let's just have a quick look at what's going on here. No chalk, so no play as of yet. There we go, kind of broken through this. Go, okay. Liquidity above the high. Okay, so let's go back out to year one and just see what's going on here. Yeah, so we've just sort of tapped into the flip. Now, I don't know exactly what we're reacting to the left. Let's zoom out just for a moment. Yeah, it looks like we've just sort of swept down. So yeah, I'm probably not, I'm just looking at this in hindsight, might not be a great area to look for sells right this second. You can just yeah, you can write up on the charts and stuff like that. Let me just get my bearings as to what's happening first, and start to understand a little bit more of what's expected in the market. Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing some upside here. No sense in looking for sells. Okay, so let's go like this: 240 demand, and you can see that we've now swept it, right? 40 sweep, and let's go like this. So get rid of that. Interesting PA for sure. Okay. Swept the low, essentially had a change of character, came back down into this sort of flip zone, and here is what it looks like it's doing. Right, flip here, flip back. Let's go like this, 15 supply. Yeah, that turned into demand here. Okay, so demand. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can just see the impulse, right? Like just the nature of how things have sort of shifted here. So yeah, might be SOL again today for what do we got here? 15V, sitting something like this. Yeah, so in order to like, yeah, it's, I think we liquidated the lows to go higher, especially where we're sitting in price now. This could be the start of what might be quite a decent pullback. We could very, very easily take out these highs as well. So yeah, I'm definitely staying curious for sells. I don't know that I would be looking to sell right this second. Reacting to HTF demand after a huge liquidation of the liquidation. So let's go up and have a look though. See if there's something maybe. Technically, your sells would be pro trend until that structure point sort of leaves, right? Okay. Well, with something like this, yeah, this is a, hmm, we're not reacting. Well, we are reacting to a 1 minute refined over to like the left-hand side over here, right? So, and if you look at this, we may have missed the mark a little bit on this opportunity right here, but if we look at this sort of region, okay, the supply, 15 supply, sorry, 1 minute supply sitting like this. This is an interaction zone as well from demand. Oops. Yeah, demand. Okay, turning into supply. We've liquidated the high. We've liquidated the liquidation. I would say that, yeah, there's possibly some sells in order here. We've seen the liquidation here. It's tough to say because we're reacting to that higher time frame demand zone, and let me just my bearings here. Ideally, when you hit a refined, we've seen the change of character. We've come back up into the flip. This is probably the entry if you were to take one. I'm not sure if anybody caught that or not, but yeah, now we have liquidity to sort of target down into here. So would you consider the M15 to have chalked bullish? M15 have chalked bullish. Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing with something like this, I would want to see probably more of like a structure shift, especially because we're heavily bearish on like we don't have a whole lot to target, right? Yes, we've liquidated the lows and stuff like this, but like technically our supply has failed, our sort of decisional supply. However, like we have to be mindful of the fact that, you know, ultimately for us to really consider something shifted, I think in this case, with how bearish we really are in the market, I would say that I would want to at least see a structure shift. Yeah, to really kind of consider any kind of move to the upside, right? We did have a chalk, so I would think that this is counter order flow. I mean, yeah, so we did, okay, let's start back up from the beginning here. I'm all a little bit flustered this morning, just lots of stuff happening all at once here. So let's go back out and kind of backtrack in here. Okay, so as it stands right now, reacting to the demand, and you'll notice that we couldn't take out this structure point and we continue to break structure to the downside, right? So I would say it's reasonable to think that the market could potentially continue lower from here. We haven't shown really any sort of strength in terms of like breaking through previous candles. This is a little bit more apparent on the, so with something like this, I would probably be a little bit more, yeah, I would want to see an actual structure shift. You know, like obviously this is up to you on how you would like to determine these things. But personally, I would want to see at least structure shift, ideally see some sort of interaction zone that we could then turn into going like this, right? Otherwise, I'm going to stay with my sort of sell bias. I know we've kind of jumped around quite a bit here, but that's how I'm viewing things right now. We've essentially, like we can't deny that we've broken structure. It's a weak break with a no closure below, but yeah, I do think that until structure shifts for me, I'm not really looking for longs just yet. So this like this is this not valid for you? Let me have a look at your chart. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I would have taken this same trade had I, you know, been a little bit quicker. TD, I'm not sure who that is exactly, but yeah, I would have taken the same trade, man. Same exact trade. I just wasn't quick enough to actually do it. oops, exited the chat. Yeah, that looks super clean. Yeah, risk would be off the table. It's my kind of setup, man. Just was a little bit too late to the draw, to be honest. Unfortunate. It's the way it goes sometimes, right? As this was counter order flow, though, wouldn't we need to wait for an M? Well, technically, so let me get these flow charts up. Sorry, guys. Like I said, I'm a little flustered. Everything happened pretty quick this morning. I'm not used to that happening right away. So let me just grab stuff up. So we are trading this. Ideally, this is pro trend. Okay. Just move this over like this. Okay, so pro trend, yeah, pro trend. Counter order flow. Have we hit an extreme refinement? So this is where, yeah, I guess you can argue that this is a counter order flow trade. I would agree. However, you have got a 1 minute refined down to 1 minute. Hold on here. Have we hit the extreme refinement within the POI? So this is, yeah, I mean, technically we should wait for, yeah, like a 1 minute order flow shift. I guess if you viewed this as a counter order flow, I don't know that I would. Yeah, this would be difficult because I would definitely take this trade based on the fact that we've hit a very specific refinement within this area, and I would look to trade this off of that. So go to the 1 hour time frame. Would you call the 1 minute candle at 740 flow, 744? Yeah, okay, so let's, yeah, this is technically your order flow shift, right? Yeah, just give me a sec, PJ. I see you, man. So right here, this is the lowest point. This is the highest point. Once this broke down, this is where you could have got in. So order flow realigned for us based off of that. So that's a small detail that you probably would have seen a little bit more clearly on the 5 second. And if you look at that, that's exactly what this chalk is right here, right? So technically there's a chalk there, and I would agree that there's a liquidation into a POI, boom, come down, and then we could have confirmed right here. So yeah, I do think that this is reasonable to take a position in this sort of region. Okay, so even though it is not the most extreme refinement, it is still a very specific area we can monitor. Yeah, man. And like, here's the thing, when designing flowcharts and stuff like that, and like, there's only so much you can fit on, like, to be like, not get too specific and have a flowchart that's 50 pages long, right? So being able to not so much read between the lines. I know, like, we deal with a lot of very factual information when we're actually looking at trade specific ideas and stuff like that. But you have to understand that, okay, like if we liquidate this high like this, and then we basically create equals to then push higher, and then we see that order flow shift with some aggression, this would entice me into the market a lot more, right? So it's just about understanding where these things sort of happen and understanding the relevance that they have from where they actually happen from. Would you be targeting the, we also liquidated the 1 minute, which is a nice addition. Agreed, 100%. Okay, so PJ, give me a second, man. Let's go to the 1 hour before I get too far ahead of myself here. Yeah, for sure, man. But the thing is, like, this is good. Yep. So this is good. Now, the problem with this is that we would have to break structure, right? Like we cannot deny that structure is from here to here right now, right? That's the structural leg that we sort of sit in. So we would have to, like, can we come up here? Yes. Is there a trade available from here? Yes, 100%. Now, it just depends on, you know, how patient do you want to be? Do you want to actually trade something from here that could potentially break this low, or do you want to wait for something that may never end up happening, right? Criteria, in my opinion, is met pretty well in this region like this. So it doesn't mean that we can't come up to here. It just means that right now, given the way that prices reacted to the specific zone with the liquidations and all these different things that we just kind of mentioned, this is still a viable zone to trade from. Now, how to target, I think, is leading up to the next question. Let me just have a quick look at what I would look for here. I would say that reasonably, you should. This is a trade I would definitely be partialing. I would probably partial. Let me have a look here. Yeah, I would probably partial. The idea behind this is that we would only want to look for longs probably down in this region right here. So I would partial a good bit down at this low and potentially, look for a hedge down here to be able to trade up. This comes from, an area that is a flip as well. So yeah, that's sort of what I'm looking at right now. Oops, I don't need to be on the 5 second right this second. Okay, I feel like I'm caught up with questions. Yeah, sorry, man. It's things happen pretty quick this morning. I do apologize if I'm a little bit all over the place. We'll take a second here and regroup. Now, the next question I'm sure I'm going to get is, will we start looking for trades? Yeah, coffee. I've literally just got my coffee in my hand right now. So now, would I look for a trade up in here? So that's obviously going to be the next question, right? So I wouldn't say that I wouldn't. It's just a matter of, okay, well, where would we like to see this trade from, right? So we have all sorts of like messiness in here. I would say that let's go to maybe a 2 minute. There might be something a little bit more clear. With higher time frame intention in mind, that 4-hour extreme is weak, so shorts make sense with all the 4-hour demand levels going. Yeah, exactly. Now, we're in terms of like higher time frame and stuff like that too. We have to remember like how deep in price we are. Not that it really matters, but it matters to a certain degree. Like, could we expect some sort of a complex pullback? And I think you mentioned this yesterday too in the chat, Nick, is like, what's the next move, right? What's the next move for EU? Reasonably to kind of consider stuff. We're sort of reacting to this HTF demand underneath all this liquidity. But the idea is that if structure holds true at the market here, very simple. I mean, ideally this low should go, right? And that's, I think, the underlying tone of what I'm expecting to happen here. Okay, I need a sip of coffee. If you guys want to send some charts in the chat too, feel free to send some with some, like, don't just send a chart that doesn't have notations on it. Like, make sure that you've got something that we can sort of follow along, and I'm happy to share the screen and just kind of talk about everything that everybody's sort of looking at. So what's happening here? I'm looking at the 91.75. Okay, a second here. 91.75. Yeah, I think that would be a good area as well, to be honest. I'm guessing sort of like something in here would be, we have a sweep and a break on the second, so just waiting for the market to return. Yeah, and like ultimately we want to see it realign, right? Like that's really really the big factor right now. Is like, it's one thing to see us come into this POI, but like, don't be afraid to like let this sort of realign and then take something in here, right? Patience, patience, patience. So we'll peel this guy back. Oops. Yeah, that's the range I'm sort of looking at as well. Okay, there we go. Got the shift. And it might go without you, right? It's okay. It's worth noting that there's no level of liquidity to take here. So you have to be very careful about this high, trading from the high, right? There's nothing to take into it. So we could very, very well go a little bit higher. That high is weak as fuck. This guy? To me, this high would be relatively strong given the fact that yeah, well, I'm going to be waiting for further confirmations anyways, man. I'm not going to be setting limits on any of this stuff. Ideally, I'd like to see this kind of come back down and then retest like this, right? I would say that we've liquidated this high into something very specific. Yeah, we could trade from there too, man. Could trade from there. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see, man. Have to wait and see. Waiting on another sweep. To me, we've already swept, but I'm gonna sit here and wait, man. Oops. How big is your monitor? Are you looking to get a new one? So my monitor is a 49. I'm just I'm only using like a half of the screen right now. I have MT4 on one half, and then I also have my trading view up on the other. On the left hand side is trading view, and on the right hand side is excuse me, my MT4. Now we wait. Yeah, if you're in a position from up here, I would say, yeah, being at break even or have partialed out at 1 to 4, 1 to 5 is obviously the ideal setup. We're playing the reaction here, right? We're playing on the fact that if we've liquidated this high, at least the theory that I would have is that because this high got liquidated and then liquidated again into the POY and then broken through right here, I'm going with this area as being, I don't know about strong, but this is a good area to have played this sort of reaction within here based on the fact that we've liquidated all the positions above here and we've liquidated all the positions on the initial drive in, right? So now we wait. There was a buy after news, possibly. Yeah, like a demand to supply and then order flow realignment in here. Yeah, I would agree. Could have ran this into the week high. Yeah, yeah. Well, news is yeah, it can definitely be tricky. You know, if fans are butts about that. Nothing yet there, Dave. There was a possible setup that we could have taken off of a refined POI, but as it stands right now, personally, I'm not in anything. It just happened a little bit too quick for me to get in while just talking about it. I think we've been trained to see sweeps that don't break structure as weak. Always think it'll get ran. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, like I said, this right here was the only reasonable area to sort of get in right around this region based on the fact that we did have that 5-second chalk off of something that was relevant to the left hand side, and then you could have managed accordingly, right? All right, so let's go over and see what if that wick wasn't up there, would you consider this a, can you, sorry, say that again? If that wick right here, would I consider this a chalk? Like, to me, the chalk, if we're going to look at the specifics of what I think the chalk was, I think it's right here, right? This is the area that chalked, personally, for me. So, oh, if that top wick wasn't there, it's tricky. Like, I mean, you could. I would probably look at obviously waiting for this demand to go. I think in some, yeah, exactly. I would want to see something like this and then break down so that we can, yeah, exactly. If there's some downtime today waiting for POI, etc., overhand approach differs. Continuations and reversals. I feel I miss a lot of continuations. Yeah, well, in all fairness, we don't have a continuation model. We sort of have like the 15-minute structural plays that we primarily focus on, right? Catching the reversals and stuff like that. So the reason why we you don't see me trading the continuations or talking about the continuations trades is because, quite frankly, I don't really have a model for it. We're always focused on the on the reversal itself. Okay, I just want to see what the news event, Forex Factory. Yeah, it's all orange stuff today. So not sure if I'm like too concerned. Claims 8:30. Yeah, I'm not crazy worried about the news events today, guys. Listen, do you know if you need TAO account for spread for bot? A TAO. Tyson, do you know if you need to account for spread for buy and sell stops? Well, yeah, your spread is always going to be, yeah, you always have to account for it. So if like you wanted to set like, let's say like a sell stop or something like this, well, you would have to, so I believe on your sell stop, yeah, your sell stop, you would have to, oh my God. Yeah, you have to account for it. And I'm just trying to like use my brain a little bit here on how you would account for it. Because on your sell stop, it's always on your buy order, right? That you have to, yeah, add 0.3 to your stop loss. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And my brain has a hard time processing that because you actually count at the end. Yeah, exactly. The way I think of it is I'm always adding up. So sells out of my stop loss and then buys. Yeah, exactly. Give me a sec. I'm just looking at your drawing. Naughty, naughty for sure. In all fairness, I kind of see it the same way. Yeah, whether or not it plays out is a completely different story, but let's see what's happening here. Liquidate into here. We shall see. And you also have a problem with slippage on MFF. To be honest, I haven't traded it very much in like the last 4 weeks or so, but I've heard a lot of people in more recent weeks that have dealt with some pretty heavy slippage up to a pip. So yeah, Alfonso, one of the guys that's in the community, has dealt with it pretty heavily. Yeah, 1 pip and getting slipped pretty bad. I don't know if it's got to do with their liquidity provider, I'm guessing, and the amount of people trading on that liquidity provider, I'm guessing. Yeah, I said it once and I'll say it again. I'm being completely honest with you. I kind of regret doing any sort of challenge with them, to be honest. I know they're cheaper, a little bit easier to get the credentials and stuff like that. But personally, I don't think there's any option in terms of prop firms other than FTMO that's worth doing. I've heard some good things with True Forex funds as well. Just they're using IC Markets, I believe, as their liquidity provider. So I should never have to deal with slippage when it comes to them. Or very, very minimal. They changed server and added more slippage. Yeah. I mean, you got to remember that these prop firms are kind of malicious too, right? I mean, they make money on challenges. Will also try their own servers, so you can expect problems there soon. Yeah, I heard about that. Do you mind going over a markup I have from a few weeks back before I was in Fractal? Sometimes I don't get in on the first entry and follow 1 minute order flow off the 15-second. Yeah, sure, send it up. Do you want me to share the screen and go through it, Nick? And just if you can, just mark up your questions on the actual chart itself, just so that I have something to kind of read off of rather than just a bunch of charts with lines on it. So if you can, just take a couple seconds and do that for me so that it makes a little bit more sense. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Garbage PA. Choppy, choppy, chop, man. So you've had liquidity to take and target on the 5-second. Let's have a look. I'm a little bit wary of news right now. That's all. Just want to see how everything shapes up. But yeah, this is, yeah, it's just one of those, like there's liquidity to target, but we just have to be careful about the equals now. Liquidity to take. Yeah. Liquidity to take. And then liquidity to target. So yeah, I mean, reasonably, you could have probably got in somewhere up here. Doesn't quite tap in. That's didn't hit the 5-second buy. Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm looking at here. Let's get off that for now. See what the next move is. Liquidity to take, liquidity to target there. Exactly. Coming into the more extreme right here. Let's peel back. This is probably a little bit clearer on like a 30-second. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, liquidity to take, liquidity to target, potentially. Boom, boom. SSL, potentially. Yeah. 1-minute candles happen so quick, but it also takes so fucking long when it chops like this. Come on, just die. Let's see this thing melt. Oh, that's funny. That's some funny shit, Nick. There we go. A little bit of action at least. Small flip zone potentially. Oops. Let's see what's going on here. Liquidity to take again, right? All sorts of stuff to target, but I don't like the building across the equal highs personally, but and that's where management comes in, right? It's you know, it's one thing to get into a trade, but if you just sit there and like fail to manage anything, you're just kind of like a sitting duck at that point, right? Don't be scared to take a break even trade and take another stab at it once you reevaluate what's happening, right? And I think that's where a lot of people sort of fail in trading is you fail to realize, or you want to see something so bad, you feel so entitled to being able to take a winning position that you forget that the market really doesn't owe you anything. And your job as a trader is really to manage your risk, right? And understand that it's okay to take a break even position. Yeah, it's one thing to get in, right? It's another thing to manage. So just remember that, guys. I mean, the bottom line is you can have the best entry in the world, but if the market doesn't deliver, right, you have to remember like where the exposure is in terms of liquidity, right? So don't just marry your trade idea because it was a good entry. That's all I'm trying to say. Nick, I'm going to check it out in a few minutes, man. I'm just going to be watching price to see what sort of happens here. But yeah, give me a couple minutes and we'll get into it. Oops, I spilled my fucking coffee. Oops. Oh, excuse me. So let's just go over maybe possible possible entries that could have been taken here. Yeah, I think the most reasonable entry was probably somewhere up in here. Possibly get some in here. I don't necessarily like these, especially with the equals sort of building. And yeah, it's not that it won't work out. I'm very selective with what it is that I'll take. Yeah, it's personal choice, right? But yeah, I would say that one of the better ones to take on the continuation side was this liquidity to take, liquidity to target. Yeah, I don't know exactly how you could have got into this. Just zooming in on it, I would say that yeah, we've basically gone through like this, like without using like a sell stop, there was no real, yeah, I don't really like any of it. I'm not like, yeah, not super eager on jumping into a position within this messy little range area. So just sit and wait, man. Let something show itself, right? If it's not clear, you don't need to force things. Like I said, the entry that I would have taken would have been somewhere in here. This would have been the one that I would be really interested in, just playing that initial reaction, getting over to break even as soon as possible. And yeah, just watching this thing. I mean, right now, I mean, the market needs to build liquidity for the move anyways, right? So well, I mean, I'm not taking trades in here. That's no, like personally, like I don't want to take stuff in the middle personally. Like I would much rather see, I would much rather see like the edges of the market play out, right? Right now we're playing from an edge, right? So this is the logical area to take shorts. This is the logical area to sort of take longs, right? Just don't want to sit here and force things too much. Just saying there's demand with inducement. Yeah, it's probably going to shoot a reaction up. I mean, it could take the high too, very easily, but yeah, like I said, it's just not something I wouldn't be trading long from here personally. Short could fizzle out, yeah. Say price sweeps back deeper into the M15 supply you have marked out. Would you again look for an M1 chalk from a refined area? Yeah, exactly. And then confirm the 1 minute chalk with a 5-second entry would be the better setup for me, at least. Oh, excuse me. There we go. Take a run at these highs, and then we can start looking at this. The sellers are crying. Yeah, somewhere in here. This is, like I said, this is just not a great range to be trading within right here with all the liquidity building. Now, the other interesting thing is obviously, like, we can see this small order flow shift in and around this region. Now, is there something that we could potentially take from here? Like, this is, yeah, I would want to see a lot more confirmations. But ideally, let's see this high give way first, and then we can ideally look for something. There we go. What's your 1 minute refined right now? I only have the 227. Yeah, just this guy. Would you say this is an M1 sweep given how extended it was? It's hard to say. The sweep is just confirmed after we see that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We need to see some sort of shift, right? So we do have, could argue, some sort of a refined zone in here. Possibly could have got involved. Let's see if there was anything. Yeah, possibly. Wait for some further confirmations. Liquidity to target below. No, that's definitely targeted liquidity, right? Like this is, you have to remember, like the opposing side, like people are looking to trade long from here. There's a bunch of stop losses sitting under here as it is. So yeah, I would say that it's reasonable to say that there's liquidity to target. Oops. What do you call that, an M1 chalk? Not quite yet. Like I said, if you wanted to like refine this out and trade from this refined POI, that might have been an option kind of deal. But like other than that, I'd want to see like a shift, come back up, and then come back down of some sort. For me personally. So we'll go with the 5 second is doing. Back into supply range. Excuse me. Da, 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 da. Paints a better picture on the 15. Did I get in? Nope. No, I didn't get in. I probably would have if I would have been on my own, but there's just, yeah, a lot of moving parts doing this right now. Yeah, I probably would have got in. Where would I have looked to get in here? I'm just trying to see where the clear picture would have been. I probably would have waited for this to go like this and then entered possibly into this supply range right here, but should come back up. I don't think so. I think she's donezo, buddy. I think it's going bye-bye right now. Personally, I think we're coming down to at least here, but we'll have to see what happens. I think we're seeing our flip zone getting generated right now, and then coming down to potentially do this. Possibly. We'll know more in a second once order flow actually shows whether or not it wants to shift. Doesn't dump, that could lead to an M15 chalk where we could look for another. Yeah, well, exactly. So like you have to remember that we've got unmitigated demand down here at some point, right? So we just need to, yeah, once price develops, we can then decide like what areas are going to be relevant to us and how we'll sort of trade them. But yeah, as it stands right now, if we chalk like structurally we chalked up, then we could start looking at some really good long positions, potentially longer term as well. So. Yeah, so this is one of those cases where if we broke down, I would likely want to be looking in the flip. Ideally have some form of liquidity to take into the flip. Was anybody able to manage an entry up in these regions? It's good. Technically stuff is counter order flow, right? So, excuse me. Get rid of this. There she goes. Chach. So yeah, I would be, and this is one of those things where like, you know what, this chop, like this flip doesn't actually take liquidity. But because we've just taken so much across the top, I think, yeah, I don't even know that we'll come back up to even this area right now. We've just taken all of the buy side liquidity out of the market, right? So this thing might just drop like a bag of bricks here. But that's why, like, you know, the extreme refinement or selecting a POI above the most liquid regions is, man, it can be lethal on the 5 second. Yeah, is what it is, man. Like I said, like I don't want to be the guy that says, "Oh, I probably would have done this had I not been on a call." But it's different being on a call with the community as opposed to you know, trading by yourself and having undivided focus on you know, specific areas and stuff like that. It's yeah. So here we go. I would say potentially looking in here, I would probably want to see the pullback. And then it's kind of like a realignment, you know, something like this, and then possibly go down. This could also make a run at something a little bit higher. So I'm just looking for realignment, especially in front of an audience and stuff like that. I just want to make sure that the confirmations are there. You don't need to be rushing into stuff just for the sake of getting into a trade. Yeah, realignment on the M1. Exactly. Little details, just looking at order flow shifts, just little wicks and stuff like that. All stuff that you would apparently or probably see on the 5 second a little bit clearer as well. But yeah, bottom line is I'm not in like a incredibly big rush to get into anything. Just going to let things sort of show themselves to then be able to get interested in positions. Oops. Oops. Yeah, liquidating. There's no, like, I mean, in all fairness, there's really no clear POI to kind of be mapped right now, the way that I view it. So ideally, what I would want to see is a POI created. So how that would happen would be something like this to then give us something like this, right? Not here to yeah, guess what wick is going to react off of or what 5 second supply, if any at all. It's yeah, I want to be able to understand what the market's trying to do, right? It's trying to show its hand, and ultimately, like, I'm not here to guess what it's trying to do. We're trying to react off of, you know, what ends up happening. Here comes the mitigation. Yeah. So this is technically probably on a lower time frame, some sort of a little flip in here. Right? You can see the interaction. Oops. Interaction right here on the supply to demand to supply potentially. Said I just wait, just sit here and wait, man. I'm not in a rush to jump into anything. Do like this zone a little bit better right here. There we go, right up to the top. Crazy. That demand in the middle of the leg not looking half well. I wouldn't be trading from it personally. I think it's just a reaction, but it's tough to say, man. I mean, you could have potentially done something if you really wanted to, but yeah, it's not something I would have traded personally. Uh yeah, if we realign here, I would probably get involved. probably put like a sell stop underneath this. There we go. So I entered here. We'll see if that holds. Last chance. So my break even right now? Not yet. I got in like right here. Dopamine. Yeah, just being patient, waiting for the setup, man. There we go. So I'll probably move over to break even just to we shouldn't be going back up there. Here it goes. Bye. Well, hopefully it'll get some legs here. Be nice. position size calculator. What are you using, Dave? Oh, you're using, oh, I see. It's called position. Yeah, you got to get over to, you should do the trial for what's it called? Trade Assistant. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm out as well. Well, that's it for today. Zip and Hada. Yeah, hard to say if it's going to hold right now. Oops. Get rid of all these drawings and just go over to the one. Cool, we're tapping into the do or die. In the words of All Might Tyson yesterday on my Against the Flow chart cell. Yeah, don't fight order flow. You're gonna have a bad fucking time every time. The way I see it is the 15 is yesterday's lows couldn't go up into the premium area of the leg. There wasn't enough liquidity, so we reacted off the mid leg inside bar. Yeah, okay. Now we've grabbed more orders from below and have the mitigations across the middle range. Yeah, to be able to go higher. Yeah, the HTF narrative is definitely, yeah, that's, we swept the lows, right? I definitely agree. Definitely agree. But I just traded my rules, man. Took a break even here, and that's all she wrote, right? That's the name of the game. Trade the fucking rules out. The structure high and got the reaction. Did we get the 5 second sweep and the order flow shift? That looks like more of a sweep. But we got to see it break something, right? In order to. See if we got any details in here. fighting order flow here, guys. If you're looking to trade the seconds, just remember that this is just an extreme refinement at this point. You can just see what's going on in the market. We're making a series of lows, highs, lows, highs. So until something changes, you're fighting the flow of money right now. Let's let something reestablish, right? Voila. All right, that's pretty well it for today. Going after liquidity here. So now we have the actual structural chalk, right? Now, the next potential trade that we can look for, and again, I'm done for the day, took a break even and just call it at that. But, you know, this could be used as liquidity to basically come into here to then take this down into potential demand area to then start moving back upwards and start this complex pullback. But yeah, for the time being, yeah, just sit on your hands, chill out, wait for the market to kind of show its hand. Yeah, we don't take trades here. You know what I mean? Like this isn't, yeah, V shape. Yeah. You're talking about this one right here, Chris? 5 sec. Well, no real reason to be on the 5 second right this second, right? We've already liquidated, so. Sweep. Okay, what am I looking at here? V-shape recovery. Not quite understanding here. V-shape though. Yeah, for me, there's no reasonable position in the chart that you sent over there. Chris. There's no V shape whatsoever. There's no real, change in order flow, right? Why not that 15-minute wick that flips and sweeps? Let's have a look. Why not the 15-minute sweep up out of POY back in immediately chop? Oh, I see. Yeah, you could. Yeah, personally, it's just an aggressive ass move, man. Yeah, you can see actually over to the left. Yeah, I see what you mean now. Like with that V shape, like just like swinging out and then coming directly back in, just purging. Just be careful, man. It's, you don't need to be in a trade just because, you're sitting there trigger happy on the 5-second either. I mean, personally, I'm just sitting around, man, waiting for something a little bit clearer. To me, there's nothing super clear at the moment. If you want to pick tops and bottoms, like I said, be my guest. It's all good. You can try. I personally would rather see a little bit more alignment, just like this guy right here, right? Have something, a little bit more clear to be able to trade from, get yourself over on the reaction and be able to trade break even. That's more my game personally. I just don't, I don't have any interest in picking tops and bottoms, man. Especially because now sells are counter trend on the, technically they would be, right? Even like, because we've gone above now, we've only wicked above, so have to be mindful of that. But nonetheless, it's just a matter of like, okay, like, do we want to force trades all the way up here, all the way up, and then finally hit something on the reversal, or do you want to follow some sort of strategic plan in getting in, right? So for me, it's really simple. I want to see a little bit more confirmation to really be able to solidify a bias on taking a potential sell, right? That's all it really boils down to for me. That 5-second bullish candle that swept out of the zone, consolidated for 1 minute, then swept out back in. For me, if the swept was a true bullish move, it would have exploded and not come back in. Sure, yeah, man. And again, like, this is like, you can get involved here. Like like I said, it's not an issue of whether or not you can or can't. Personally, I'm just not doing it because, I'd like to see a few other things realign first, right? I'm not trying to sit here and I want continuations. I want nice, easy continuation trades that make a little bit more sense for me. And again, that's just my personal approach, right? I just wanted you to, I understand. I got you, man. I appreciate you explaining that. Like I said, it's just like, for me, I'm just chilling. I'm not in a rush to get into something that hasn't confirmed like a true order flow shift, right? Okay, guys, that's it for me. It's a break even on the day, and we'll have a look at what's going on a little bit later on, and tomorrow we'll catch up some more, have a look at what could have been taken within today's PA. I'm going to go over it again right now and just see if there's anything interesting that we could have maybe done a little bit differently. But as it stands right now, I think the only way to trade it would have been looking for sells this deep in price. I'm not really looking for longs this far along. Again, like I said, it's nothing really correlated for longs. It was more sells that made sense for me. So with that being said, we'll wrap this up. There won't be a trade recap today on the days that we actually do live trading sessions. So I won't see you guys till tomorrow. We'll see you for the pre-New York narrative, and I'll also see you for our lesson a little bit later on in the day. So have a good rest of your session, guys. Remember, don't force trades. Okay, let order flow realign, let it do what it needs to do in order for you to confirm your bias. It's, don't force things that don't need to be forced is the bottom line here. So have a good session, guys, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit later.